Now at 9, Pittsburgh police locate a person of interest as they investigate a late-night shooting near Sonic.
The U.S. Attorney General names a special counsel to investigate former President Donald Trump classified documents in the January 6th riot. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. Pittsburgh police are looking for answers in the investigation of an overnight shooting. It happened in the area of Pittsburgh's Sonic Drive-In on the 100 block of West 23rd. Police got the call before 10 last night and found a 32-year-old man with a gunshot wound. They say it's non-life-threatening to an extremity. He was taken to the hospital and is listed in stable condition. That was that last report anyway. Police say they found a possible person of interest in the case, but the victim was uncooperative. Pittsburgh Police Department advised people to phone in their tips and says people giving information may remain anonymous. Well, fire crews battled a duplex fire this afternoon in Carl Junction, Missouri. KOAM's Shannon Becker was on the scene, and Shannon has more.
It's about 1:40 Friday afternoon. Reports of fire in Carl Junction, the southern edge of the Briarbrook neighborhood. You can see behind us this duplex completely destroyed by fire. Just as Carl Junction Fire Department was arriving, they called out for assistance from other departments, including Joplin and Webb City. Smoke was so thick it was billowing across Fur Road, stopping traffic. The frigid, cold wind fanned the flames. That plume of smoke could be seen from the Joplin Regional Airport and along North Main Street. We're told this is a duplex, each side 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2-car garage. No one was at home on either side of the duplex when the fire began. The passerbys helped get the animals out of the residence. Of course, it's obvious. Both sides of the duplex are a total loss. Carl Junction Fire Chief Joe Perkins has requested Missouri State Fire Marshal to assist investigation. In Carl Junction, I'm Shannon Becker for KOAM News Now.
Shannon, thank you. The Red Cross has been contacted to assist those displaced. One firefighter was injured. He was treated at the scene, however. This military flyover in southeast Kansas today honored our greatest generation. World War II era planes flew in formation above Cherokee County as a tribute to all World War II veterans, and one in particular, a Columbus, Kansas native who passed away last week at the age of 106. A local university is showcasing how the world of medicine is influenced by art. KOAM's Amber Jenkins says more.
Missouri Southern State University is hosting its first Artful Medicine Symposium, showcasing how art is influenced by medicine and vice versa.
Artful Medicine Symposium is touching on how art and medicine are useful when it comes to healing and healing processes, and then also what we do here in the art department is we look at visual training strategies, or VTS.
Visual Training Strategies, or VTS, is often used in medical humanities courses for students to improve observational skills and empathy.
I think anytime that we have projects or workshops or symposiums or seminars where it's interdisciplinary and we're involving multiple disciplines, I think that it's beneficial because it gets us out of our comfort zone and shows ways that we can, work together to address whether it's art and medicine or just other issues. So
the symposium teaches participants the connections between art, medicine, biology, and more.
Well, the arts and sciences go hand in hand with a lot of artists who are driven with the anatomical approach to art, and then some of the more science-based creative people who have shown today, they're doing more artistic approaches. So we're kind of feeding into each other's qualities.
Whitney is proud to showcase his art connecting creativity to medicine.
It is a little bit of an art therapy to be able to have this outlet, and presenting today has been wonderful because as an artist you rarely get the chance to talk about your work with people. It's shown on a wall and people look at it and move on.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Our department is planning on doing another symposium soon. A special counsel named this afternoon will helm a federal investigation of Donald Trump, just days after the former president announces he was wanting his old job back. Attorney Jack Smith pledged he will, quote, exercise independent judgment and follow the facts in the case. Fox's Caroline Shively has details from D.C.
On Friday, Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed a legal powerhouse to serve as special counsel to oversee twin investigations involving former President Donald Trump. One probe covers classified documents found at Trump's Florida estate. The other examines the January 6th riot and efforts to reverse the 2020 election.
As special counsel, he will exercise independent prosecutorial judgment to decide whether charges should be brought.
Jack Smith will head up the investigation for the Department of Justice. He's served as the chief prosecutor for the special court in The Hague charged with investigating war crimes in Kosovo since 2018. Now he'll have a team of lawyers in D.C.
It's really Mar-a-Lago that I would be most worried about if I were on the Trump team.
Trump tells Fox Digital he won't partake in the investigation, calling it unfair and so political. The announcement comes just 3 days after the former president launched a new bid for the White House, where he took the Mar-a-Lago investigation head on.
I say, why didn't you raid Bush's place? Why didn't you raid Clinton?
President Biden ignored reporters' questions about the investigation on Friday, but White House officials say the DOJ is operating independently.
We are not involved. We have not been aware about this particular investigation or any criminal investigation.
The special counsel will focus on Trump's actions and will not look into ongoing cases against January 6th rioters. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another four-state hero. Harvey Prow has served in the U.S. Army during World War I. Native of Shell City, Missouri, Prow was a machine gunner. We are proud to thank and salute Private Harvey Prow. He's tonight's four-state hero. Coming up, the time in Buffalo, New York, when things came to a stop.
Roads are closed, flights are canceled, and even the Buffalo Bills game has been moved because of a massive snowstorm in western New York. I'm Malda Rivera in Buffalo with the latest on the conditions coming up.
Pediatricians are calling on President Joe Biden to declare an emergency over the alarming surge of children hospitalized with RSV and flu this season. The American Academy of Pediatrics and Children's Hospital Association is sending a letter to Biden and Health Secretary Xavier Becerra emphasizing pediatric hospitals are reaching capacity and need resources that can only be provided if an emergency is formally declared. The declaration would provide hospitals with the flexibility to free up bed space, also change staffing to better care for kids coming in. The association says, quote, our system is stretched to its limit. Look at that behind me. A potentially historic snowstorm is now hitting some of the most snow-hardy cities on the continent with up to 4 feet of accumulation. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera has more now from Buffalo, New York.
Beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
The massive lake effect blizzard hitting northern New York isn't over yet, but throughout the area, roads are closed, flights are canceled, and folks are working hard to dig out. The worst of the snowfall so far is to the south of Buffalo. Towns like Hamburg and Orchard Park already getting hit with more than 3 feet of snow. Officials now urging residents to stay safe and stay off the roads.
Please, if you don't have to go out, don't go out. It will help us with our snow plowing efforts throughout the city.
But in downtown Buffalo, there were still plenty of people walking around, despite worsening conditions as the snow accumulates.
The ice, I think, is where many people draw the line. The ice is where so many dangerous things can happen. We can fall, we can slip.
And for some tourists who had never seen snow before, it was the perfect excuse to dive in and enjoy the blizzard.
I fell over once and I made a somewhat angel, but snowball fights for sure. I got a pretty good arm on me.
But it could be a different story over the weekend. The snowfall is expected to re-intensify on Friday night and continue through Sunday. But for longtime residents, this is just another day in Buffalo.
We will shovel out. It's not, we're going to make it.
A state of emergency has been declared for 11 counties. In Buffalo, New York, Malda Rivera, Fox News.
That's a good childhood memory right there, you know? Epic sledding down the hills. Doug is next with completely the forecast. And a bit later, how robotic legs are helping stroke survivors walk again faster and further.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a cold one for us today. Temperatures, they didn't really go anywhere for highs, only into the lower 30s across the region. We had clouds all day, but the clouds have been breaking up over the past couple hours. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort parking lot filling up. It's Friday night, heading into the weekend, but it's cold outside, and it's going to get a little bit better over the weekend, but in general, it's still going to be cold. Look at our temps over the past 36 hours. Yesterday, near 50, and then the cold front dropped in. We dropped into the 20s and barely humped over 30 as we went into the daytime hours for us today. So it's been super cold out there. In fact, look at our highs during the afternoon. A lot of areas stayed in the 20s. Fort Scott, Nevada, Stockton. We hit about 30 in Pineville, Afton about 32, Chautauqua about 30, 31 in Coffeyville. Now we're dropping off again. We're sitting mainly across the board, lower 20s, and we'll go down upper teens to about 20 later on tonight. Outside's 22 in Joplin, west-south winds at about 5, humidity at 58%, and still a little bit of a wind, so it gives us a little bit of a wind chill. It feels like 10 upwards to about 20 degrees. So it's cold. If you are going to be out, make sure you bundle up. Through the night, lower 20s, 33 by 10, but an overnight low right around 20 later on tonight. Now all the clouds are out of here. We had clouds most of the day. Still a few little snow showers down to our south, Oklahoma and parts of Arkansas. And then you got the lake effect snow across the Great Lakes. Still coming in tonight into tomorrow. Here's Orchard Park, where the Buffalo Bills play, just south of Buffalo. They have now passed 66 inches of snow. That's a lot of snow. That's a ton of snow, approaching 6 feet. We don't have to deal with anything like that, but as this upper level low slowly rotates out, that helps our temperatures start to warm back up just a bit. Let's go through time tonight. We're going to drop back again, upper teens to near 20. Clear skies as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. Better. We're going to make it up 40, 41, 42 degrees across the region, but another cold night for us tomorrow night as we drop back into the upper teens to near 20 degrees. But at least our afternoon highs are starting to moderate just a bit. Here's your day planner, 23 to start, 38 by noon, 35 by 5. High temp will make it up to about 42 degrees. And if you're heading out to the Pitt State game, of course, playoffs, game starts at 1. So if you're heading out early, 38, 2 p.m., so in the second quarter, 39, and by the end of the game, 37. At least it's going to be dry and plenty of sunshine across the region. All right, 42 tomorrow, 47 on Sunday, 53 Monday, 57 on Tuesday. Rain chances rolling in just in time for the holiday and turning much colder by Black Friday. Jordan?
Mr. Duncan, thank you so much. Coming up, going to learn about some special robotic legs meant to help stroke survivors. There's new evidence that exercise can benefit breast cancer survivors. A study in California tracked more than 300 women and found even moderate physical activity was associated with a 60% lower risk of death. Researchers say the findings suggest exercise may be key for both survival and quality of life after cancer. Hundreds of thousands of Americans suffer a stroke each year, unfortunately. Researchers are hoping, though, a high-tech device can help survivors move again. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten taking a look.
Stroke survivors are learning to walk again faster and further. Researchers in the south of England say this robotic leg is a step forward in helping stroke patients regain their mobility.
When an individual has a stroke, it's either caused by a clot or a bleed on the brain, and dependent upon where that happens, depends on what part of the body it affects.
According to the CDC, more than 795,000 people in the United States suffer from a stroke each year.
Over 3/4 of individuals who have a stroke end up with either an upper limb, so an arm, or a lower limb, a leg impairment afterwards.
In a small clinical trial, 34 stroke patients who had issues walking were given the strap-on robotic leg and sent home. They were told to wear it for a certain amount of time while receiving traditional physical therapy.
We were trying to see if a robotic device, but used at home with physiotherapy, would have a greater effect than robotics used within hospitals and clinics.
Using a digital 3D camera, researchers were able to assess the patient's progress, and after 10 weeks, they saw significant improvements.
We saw confidence increase, we saw walking ability increase, and therefore daily step count and activity increase from there for that group.
In the future, researchers hope this technology will transcend clinical trials and will be readily available to stroke survivors around the world. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
All right, next, going to run through the list of most popular pet names of 2022. All right, so for many people, choosing a name for their dog or cat is serious business. I agree. Rover.com taking it so seriously it compiles an annual list of the most popular pet names. All right, so you ready? For dogs, 5 most popular male dog names included Max. Come here, Max. Charlie, Cooper, Milo, and Buddy. Luna, Bella, Daisy, Lucy, and Lily were at the top of the list for female dogs. Most popular names for male cats, oh, never mind. We only care about dogs, don't we? At least I do. No, I'm teasing. All right, most popular name for male cats were Oliver, Milo, Leo, Charlie, and Max. Luna, Lily, Bella, Lucy, and Nala made the top spots for females. As for unusual names, some dog owners call their pets, believe it or not, Beige. I can see that. And one of the trendiest cat names this year was Hocus Pocus, of course, after the popular film. I agree. Pets are so part of the family. Names are important. And none of these names really were so crazy to me. That's awesome. Oh, look at that little guy right there, just enjoying all the quality of life right there. All right, the key to your dream home may lie in gingerbread houses. I forgot we had another story, so I was just talking until the video ran out. But yeah, we have another story here. Pop-Tarts company officials are encouraging customers to sketch out and create Pop-Tarts gingerbread houses for the holiday season and then post them on Twitter or Instagram. The company says they're going to gift $15,000 to one person that will go towards the purchase price, mortgage, or rent on their real-life dream home. Photos of the gingerbread homes can be sent to @PopTartUS, @PopTartUS, and by using the hashtag gingerbreadPopTartEntry. There we go. Man, in this business we're trained, you talk. If we're light on time, you talk until the video's done. And so that's what I was doing for that dog thing. Peyton, I love you, buddy. I'm sorry, I forgot there's another story. All right, 31 minutes news, weather, and sports coming away. The Miami Public Library hosting a sleepover for stuffed animals.
Another missile launched from North Korea on Friday, and this one could be capable of hitting the entire U.S. mainland. I'm Jeff Paul in London. I've got the details coming up.
Miami Public Library is having its first stuffed animal sleepover. KOAM's Carrie Worthen brought along her stuffed animal. See what it's all about.
I tried to do him have a sleepover too.
Youth librarian Sonia Smith said she has seen other libraries do this sleepover before and wanted to join in.
Children will bring their favorite stuffed animals. We've got little name tags that we'll put on them so they don't get mixed up or lost. We'll read them some bedtime stories, and then the stuffed animals will sleep at the library tonight.
Smith wants the children to get used to the library and hear some stories.
Some children, they don't get to be read to all the time, so it's a nice new environment for them if they're not familiar with the library, and hopefully they'll get to meet some new friends.
But Granny, said Patrick,
for her to make friends, that he gets to make some friends.
A card for each stuffed animal was filled out with their name, who the stuffed animal belonged to, and a telephone number so no animal would be lost.
Baby monkey having fun?
Speaking of fun, as the stuffed animals spend the night, the library will be taking pictures of all the shenanigans they get into throughout the night.
This is just a great way to get the community together into the library to see that the library is more than just books and just have some fun.
Probably something crazy. Party?
I love seeing the smiles on the kids' faces when we do these type of events, and I love being part of my community and promoting literacy in the community.
In Miami, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
Fun.
It does look fun. The library is going to be serving donuts and orange juice just for the children and their stuffed animals. They get in on it too, right? Tomorrow morning, while they look at all the adventures they got into overnight. Salvation Army today is kicking off its annual Red Kettle season. Tonight, Salvation Army in Joplin lit its Christmas tree, also recognized last year's bell ringers. As always, the Salvation Army is looking for volunteers to ring the bells.
It certifies hope. It's hope for the people. With the slogan this year, we want to love beyond, which means we're loving beyond just the holiday season. We're loving throughout the whole year.
If you'd like to sign up to volunteer as a bell ringer, just head over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Some Pitt State students partnered with the Pittsburgh YMCA to help senior citizens. That's fun. We partnered with the class to help senior citizens on wellness activities to break aging stereotypes. The class lets students work with older adults to have a better understanding of aging.
It's all about exposure. It's all about getting in there with the population that you want to learn more about. So by the students interacting with the seniors, it's providing them opportunities to get a little bit more knowledge or information about what is it like to grow old, and that yes, seniors can still be active when they are 60, 70, 80 years old and beyond.
Next classes are going to be on December 2nd and 9th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Franklin Museum in Franklin, Kansas gave residents a chance to learn how to make some festive cocktails. Celebrity bartenders were on hand to show the audience how to make the drinks, and snack pairings go along with them.
And it's fun to see people learning something, being excited to be out in the community, because for so long during COVID, you couldn't get out, you couldn't socialize, you couldn't have that community spirit, and we've got a room full of it tonight.
Attendees walked away with recipes, also a commemorative glass. Looks like some big retailers are going to have to be patient and wait for their financial tidings this holiday season. Macy's and Kohl's in particular are seeing their sales drop as shoppers appear to be delaying their holiday buy. Two companies say their sales slowed last month compared to September and August. It's quite a change from last year when shortfalls in goods motivated shoppers to make their purchases early or risk finding what they were looking for. They're just gone from store shelves. Retailers say supply chain bottlenecks have eased, and there's also a lot of merchandise available. Officials with Macy's say they're expecting consumers to spend plenty of money this holiday season when it's all said and done, but they say it's too soon to tell if the delayed start to the shopping season could mark the beginning of a broader slowdown. For the second time in a month, North Korea fired an intercontinental ballistic missile, and this time its range includes the mainland United States. Fox News correspondent Jeff Paul has more from London.
We again call for North Korea to stop further unlawful destabilizing acts.
Condemnation coming quickly following the latest missile launch from North Korea. It happened early Friday for the second time in a month. The North launching an ICBM to the west. This time it landed about 120 miles off the coast of Japan. But officials say this missile was far more advanced, and with a range of more than 9,000 miles, it could reach any target in the mainland United States.
It is a reckless act that escalates the provocation against the entire international community.
The launch comes as world leaders meet in Thailand for an annual Asian Economic Summit. Representing the U.S., Vice President Kamala Harris quickly convened a meeting of America's regional allies, with 5 other countries joining the U.S. in condemning the launch.
This conduct by North Korea most recently is a brazen violation of multiple UN security resolutions. It destabilizes security in the region and unnecessarily raises tensions.
South Korea responding quickly, holding bombing drills with stealth fighter jets following the ICBM launch, while the State Department works to get China, North Korea's main ally, to join the pressure campaign.
We continue to be open to engaging with the PRC to manage the threat posed by the DPRK, not just in the region, but the threat that they pose more broadly.
Officials in Japan say the missile launched today was designed to carry multiple warheads for a possible nuclear strike. In London, Jeff Paul, Fox News.
A bit later, the latest on the ongoing feud of sorts between Taylor Swift, her fans, and Ticketmaster.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a cold one for us today. Temperatures, they didn't really go anywhere for highs, only into the lower 30s across the region. We had clouds all day, but the clouds have been breaking up over the past couple hours. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort parking lot filling up. It's Friday night, heading into the weekend, but it's cold outside, and it's going to get a little bit better over the weekend, but in general, it's still going to be cold. Look at our temps over the past 36 hours. Yesterday, near 50, and then the cold front dropped in. We dropped into the 20s and barely humped over 30 as we went into the daytime hours for us today. So it's been super cold out there. In fact, look at our highs during the afternoon. A lot of areas stayed in the 20s. Fort Scott, Nevada, Stockton, we hit about 30 in Pineville, Afton about 32, Chautauqua about 30, 31 in Coffeyville. Now we're dropping off again. We're sitting mainly across the board lower 20s, and we'll go down upper teens to about 20 later on tonight. Outside's 22 in Joplin, west-south winds at about 5, humidity at 58%, and still a little bit of a wind, so it gives us a little bit of a wind chill. It feels like 10 upwards to about 20 degrees. So it's cold. If you are going to be out, make sure you bundle up. Through the night, lower 20s, 33 by 10, but an overnight low right around 20 later on tonight. Now, all the clouds are out of here. We had clouds most of the day. Still a few little snow showers down to our south, Oklahoma and parts of Arkansas. And then you got the lake effect snow across the Great Lakes. Still coming in tonight into tomorrow. Here's Orchard Park, where the Buffalo Bills play, just south of Buffalo. They have now passed 66 inches of snow. That's a lot of snow. That's a ton of snow, approaching 6 feet. We don't have to deal with anything like that, but as this upper level low slowly rotates out, that helps our temperatures start to warm back up just a bit. Let's go through time tonight. We're going to drop back again, upper teens to near 20. Clear skies as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. Better. We're going to make it up 40, 41, 42 degrees across the region, but another cold night for us tomorrow night as we drop back into the upper teens to near 20 degrees. But at least our afternoon highs are starting to moderate just a bit. Here's your day planner: 23 to start, 38 by noon, 35 by 5. High temp will make it up to about 42 degrees. And if you're heading out to the Pitt State game, of course, playoffs, game starts at 1. So if you're heading out early, 38, 2 p.m. So in the second quarter, 39, and by the end of the game, 37. At least it's going to be dry and plenty of sunshine across the region. All right, 42 tomorrow, 47 on Sunday, 53 Monday, 57 on Tuesday. Rain chances rolling in just in time for the holiday and turning much colder by Black Friday. Jordan?
Doug, thanks again, man. Coming up in sports, Pitt State and Missouri Southern men's basketball teams hitting the floor on the opening night of the Pitt State Classic. Plus, 4 Webb City High School baseball standouts signing to continue their careers in college. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Well, tonight is the opening night of the Pitt State Classic. Both the Pitt State and Missouri Southern men's basketball teams hit the floor tonight in Pittsburgh. Now, the Lions are up first, trying to get their first win of the season against Illinois Springfield. And 9 minutes into the ballgame, Avery Taggart knocks down a big three. Southern up 23-20 with that. Taggart finishes with 20. Prairie Stars staying within reach on the fast break here. Keith Johnson gets up for the one-handed jam. Later in the first, though, Parker Long knocks down the jumper. Lions lead by 2 at the break. Then Taggart finds Lawson Jenkins for 3. Southern starting to pull away in the second half, but we'll go back to Parker Long. Drives hard to the net and finishes. Team high 23 points tonight for Long. Southern wins it 89-80, and head coach Sam McMahon gets his first career win for the Lions.
It's not about me. This is part of the journey. You know, it's about the players. Parker Long, Nago Endow, Vincent Sigmon. I could name 5 other guys. It's great to do it with those guys, you know, because they're such good guys. They're very coachable. They really bought into the game plan, and we executed it. We got to get better defensively. We got a long ways to go. Obviously, this is part of the journey, and we got to enjoy every second of it.
After that one, Pitt State hits the floor against Quincy in their first home game of the season. In the first half, Marquis English working through traffic gets the bucket for 2. He leads the Gorillas with 19 points and 11 rebounds tonight. Other way, Paul Zielinskis extends the Hawks' lead. At that point, it is 16-9. Sticking around in the first, Quentin Hardrick Jr. finds Albert McBride. He hits the corner 3. McBride finishes with 16 in this one for Quincy. Too much tonight. Isaiah Foster takes the pass, knocks down a triple of his own. All Quincy tonight. Hawks take down the Gorillas 82-58. Pittsburgh State women try for a 3-0 start this afternoon on the road against Rockhurst. The Gorillas take this one 83-75. Tristan Gegg leads the way with 23 points. Grace Pyle adds 21 for the Gorillas. Pitt State will be right back at it tomorrow, facing Southern Nazarene at 1 p.m. in Topeka. Webb City High School has 4 senior student athletes signed today to continue their careers in college. All 4 of them signed to play college baseball this afternoon. Kinley Hood is headed to Highland Community College in Kansas. He'll play first base for the Scotties. Now the other three guys, they're all going to the same place. Walker Sweet, Cy Darnell, and Kaylor Darnell signed today to play just down the road for the Missouri Southern Lions.
Main goal is to get bigger, try to keep throwing harder. Want to try to be a starter for them and be a good player for them. It's a great fit for me. Also with my schooling, it was a great fit for me. Not some of the other schools that offer me didn't really have that fit.
And the atmosphere, pretty good. The players, again, I like the players, and I like their all-turf field too. I think the location's probably one of the big ones, and I like the assistant coach. Yeah, I like the assistant coach.
They've had really successful seasons year in, year out, and just the communication they keep with their players and the atmosphere they have there is just really what stood out to me. My first year, I just really want to develop as a teammate and a player, really get involved with the system, and hopefully maybe get some playing time my freshman year.
Coach Hay is a great guy. I've been in contact with him for a couple years now, and it really seemed like home. A little small college up there. It was a great town.
The Kansas City Chiefs are 7-2 to start the season. Last week they beat Jacksonville by 10 for their third straight win. This week the Chiefs are back in primetime, hitting the road to face the Chargers on Sunday night. Like to do every Friday night, right now it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
Little things in the NFL can decide big games. Quietly, Chiefs punter Tommy Townsend is having one of the best years in Chiefs history. All year long, he's been either number 1 or 2 in NFL gross or net punting. But the biggest play of his career was a little thing that helped the Chiefs win a big game on September 15th. The Chiefs were down 10-7. The Chargers had the ball. They could have the last possession of the second quarter and the first possession of the third quarter. They had all 3 timeouts left and 22 seconds. But Townsend punted the ball from his own 17 for 74 yards, the 4th longest punt in Chiefs history. And the Chargers couldn't field the punt, and it ran off a whopping 16 seconds off the clock and forced a kneel down. This week, Sunday Night Football, Chiefs and Chargers again. Little things could decide the game on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry. Every day's game day, Como Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
And that Chiefs-Chargers game kicks off at 7:20 on Sunday night. Right now, the Chiefs are 5-point favorites. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news right after this.
There's bad blood over Ticketmaster canceling its general ticket sales for Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, leaving many angry Swifties, yes, calling on her to speak out. And she has. Fox Business correspondent Ashley Strohmeyer has the details.
Pop star Taylor Swift finally responding to the absolute chaos that has followed the sale of her concert tickets for her upcoming tour next year. The pop star releasing a statement saying in part, quote, "There are a multitude of reasons why people had such a hard time trying to get tickets, and I'm trying to figure out how this situation can be improved moving forward. I'm not going to make excuses for anyone because we asked them multiple times if they could handle this kind of demand, and we were assured they could. It's truly amazing that 2.4 million people got tickets, but it really pisses me off that a lot of them feel like they went through several bear attacks to get them." The controversy started Tuesday when Ticketmaster's pre-sale for verified fans just couldn't keep up with the intense demand, with literally millions shut out from getting a chance to buy tickets. Ticketmaster then cancelled today's public sale, blaming extraordinarily high demands on ticketing systems and insufficient remaining ticket inventory to meet that demand. The secondary market, though, reaping the rewards. The most expensive tickets at pre-sale around $500. The cheapest tickets now in the nosebleeds are going for more than $700. And let's just say fans are not happy.
What has happened here with these tickets and the fans that want to go to this show and it means a lot to them and whatever is so absurd and disgusting that, like, I don't understand how Ticketmaster is still in business.
Not just one investigation, but multiple, as a handful of states have announced their plans to investigate. Meantime, other lawmakers also calling for the breakup of Live Nation. That's the country's largest concert promoter and Ticketmaster's parent company, which they say has a stranglehold on ticket sales to top events. The White House has also said it is following the situation closely. Live Nation has responded to the criticism and, interestingly, blames Swift's popularity. Only 1.5 million verified fans were expected to visit the site on Tuesday. Instead, that number came in at 14 million. I'm Ashley Webster reporting for Fox Business. Back to you.
Coming up, going to wrap up the night with a sneak peek at a new documentary. I think it's pretty good. It's called Good Night, Oppie. A new documentary brings a story of space, technology, and legacy. It's about Mars rover Opportunity. His mission, defied odds, inspired many. Produced by a team including Steven Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment, the film is already receiving critical praise. It's screening in theaters now before streaming on Prime Video next week. We spoke with movie's director for a look at Good Night, Oppie. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Good Night, Oppie follows the journeys of Mars rovers Spirit and Opportunity. Both were sent to Mars for an expected 90-day mission. Opportunity survived 15 years. Director Ryan White used years of archival footage from NASA combined with interviews.
It was an extremely emotional, extremely familial for a lot of people, in a bond that I would have never expected. And so that's when I think the film became really alive.
White made the documentary with Amblin Entertainment and had a specific vision for these visuals.
Can we take the audience to Mars through the eyes of these robots? Amblin said, let's talk to Industrial Light and Magic. So very quickly, it was escalating from Steven Spielberg's company to George Lucas's company.
Rover Diary.
Angela Bassett also tells the story through journal entries.
The signal from the vehicle is solid and strong.
I see her as playing the voice of NASA.
Ryan says the movie is about technology and scientific legacy.
It's for humankind to take what we are discovering now during our lifetimes and do whatever with that baton that they can do, and then pass that along after that. And I think when you see the faces in my film, you see a real growing of diversity in NASA as we age.
He hopes it can be inspirational, especially for young audiences.
Of all backgrounds, all races, all geographies, because these aren't just Americans working on these missions, to see themselves represented in a way that might say, I can do that.
Good night, Opportunity. Well done.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
From Good Night, Oppie, to Good Night to you. That's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Can leave tonight with video of cougar cubs at the Houston Zoo. Hey, have a great, safe weekend. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.